Hi everyone and welcome to Bubs and Tots. Tonight I'm going to be making a yummy vegetarian quiche. I thought to get the channel started I would make one of a cooking video just to see how it goes and to see the response, of course. I love quiches. It's one of those things where I think as a mum I appreciate it a lot because sometimes you're in a hurry or you've got limited groceries in the fridge. You just pull some things together as long as you've got eggs, cheese and milk, and you've got dinner ready, and it's yummy and kids love it. So come join me in the kitchen and let's make a quiche. Okay, so I've got my ingredients here, just makes it easier for me. I've already washed everything, I haven't prepped everything, so I'll do that with you guys together. I've got some chives here. I love chives, so I am going to add some chives to my quiche. I've got some one red onion. You can use brown, I think red onions give a little bit more flavour. And a capsicum or bell peppers, whichever country you're watching from. The other thing that I've got here is some mushrooms. I'll mention them first because they're my favourite. Mushrooms that I'm going to peel and slice. And beautiful cherry tomatoes, which I think every quiche should have some tomatoes in it. The other thing that I love and is going to make this quiche really nice is some English spinach. I like to have fresh spinach, that way I can chop it up. One thing to keep in mind with this spinach, everyone, it's one of those things that they wither very quickly once they're cooked, so be generous with it. As you can see, I've got a big bunch here. My eggs are here. I've got about 8 eggs. What I will be doing is I'll be doing half and half, so I'll be using 4 yolks and 4 whites, just to keep it a bit more on the lean side, considering the big slice of cheese here. It's not butter, it's cheese that I'll be grating. Milk and eggs, they're both organic, and I think them, besides the garlic and ginger, are the only things that are organic on my table at the moment. I wish I could have had more organic veggies, but the local supermarket didn't have it, but these looked fresh enough. My milk I always like to keep organic. I think ever since my son stopped breastfeeding and I got him into cow's milk, just the whole family went, just buy the one type of milk, it makes it easier. Eggs, definitely organic, and if you're not having it, then free range. Please look into it about why you should be having free range or organic eggs. I'm going to start off by cooking the onions and the capsicum and the chives in a bit of olive oil. Going to add a little bit of salt and pepper, a little bit of ginger and garlic. Ginger and garlic give that really nice taste, I think, just keeps it from being too bland. If it was just for me or my husband, I would have added some jalapenos, a bit more chili to it, made it a bit more spicy, but let's keep it tasty but a little bit bland because I've got a 2-year-old eating. Other than that, yeah, let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is, because we're going to saute the onions and the capsicum, I'm going to chop these up first and put them on the pan. So, just peeled it, took one layer off, cut it in half. Then I'm going to put it on its side, do one cut down the middle, and just chop it up into nice, thin but long pieces. With my capsicum, my little way is to get a smaller knife, and I just circle around the big green bit in the middle, I suppose, and then I go all the way around and make a half. That way this just comes off easily. I think it's really tough being a mum in 2018, on 21st century altogether, because everything you do is being judged. When you're outside with your kids, every move you make, what you're eating, what you're not eating. Somehow, when it comes to parenting and how a mum parents her kids and runs her family, the whole entire world tends to become a professional. And I just think it's funny, because motherhood being one of the toughest jobs in the world, well, I think it's the most toughest job in the world that not everybody can do, and yet it's so judged harshly that anyway, it's my little 2 cents of the video. Once again, I'm just chopping through. I'm not making it too small. I do like to crunch and taste the veggies. Now, you don't have to cook this beforehand. You can just leave it as it is. You'll get more nutrients that way. It will be a little bit more crunchier, but because, like I said, I'm trying to make this toddler friendly, by cooking it, it is going to make things extra soft. So he's going to have veggies without even realizing that he's having veggies. I always like to just peel it. I've got my bin here, by the way. I'm not just putting it on the floor. Now for my chives, I'm going to chop up half of it to cook, and the other half I'm just going to put in there with the egg batter. Chop these up. Same thing with my spinach. I'm only going to use just a little bit of it. Just like to take the big leaves off, because I think if I cook it, it'll be nicer. It will get cooked in with all the other flavors, and it'll wither a little bit as well. But I'm not doing all of it. I'm going to leave some leaves fresh in there just to put in so it can get cooked in the oven with the cheese and tomatoes. That should give it a nice amount of flavour. We'll need a bigger knife for that. Okay. I'm going to let this cook just for about 4 minutes or so, and now we can beat our eggs. Pepper and salt. At this stage you can even put a bit of paprika if you like, or some red chilies. So they're nice and soft now, and I'm going to add in my spinach and the mushrooms. Raise the heat a little bit. I'm now going to grate my cheese. I'm going to grate most of this, about 3/4 of it, and then the remaining quarter I'm going to just make it into nice thin slices to put on top of the cherry tomatoes. Just comes out nicer. Give me a fair bit of nice cheese. I love cheese, so the more the merrier. Okay, cheese is done. I'm going to chop up the remaining spinach and chives and the tomatoes. Choose to have this with a base or without a base. I've done the exact same recipe with no pastry underneath my quiche bowl that I'm going to be putting in the oven, and it's come out great. Today I'm going to make it with a base, so I've got some short crust pastry. I didn't make this at home. I don't know how to make short crust pastry at home, so it is the frozen ones from the supermarket. Now before I put the pastry on my dish, I'm gonna just lightly spray it with some olive oil. Doing this ensures that the pastry isn't gonna get stuck, and I'm not going to have difficulty cutting and serving the pieces. Okay, so that's nice and soft in there. Now because this is square and I've got a circle, I'm going to get another sheet and just fill in the sides. Base, and what I'm going to do is put the cooked ingredients in there first. That's done, I'm going to put some cheese, and you just layer it with the different stuff, but always make sure you've got the cooked ingredients at the bottom because they've got a lot of flavor. So a bit of cheese, and then I'm going to put in my egg mixture here, which is just egg, milk, salted. spinach. And my chives. And I'm going to place my tomatoes facing up. There it is, ready to go into the oven. Okay, so it's in the oven and I'm going to leave it in there for about 25 to 30 minutes and we'll see how it looks. Put in a butter knife and it just comes out clean. There's no liquid, nothing, which shows that the inside and everything has been cooked. And as you can see, the pastry is nice and brown as well, and the cheese is brown as well. So that's when you know it's done, it's ready, and of course it's going to smell really good